You're watching Kura 2022. I am Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. Tonight, we host Governor Joseph Ole Lenku. Political party belonging is on the rise in Kenya.
We have officially moved to ODM.
I will ask him what is behind his move to the ODM party and political party affiliation and the place of ideology and policies post-multi-party. Also, resource embezzlement across the counties is on the rise according to state agencies. I will ask the governor how he is managing the coffers of county number 34. Then, the motive land question and the inside story of Joseph Ole Lenku. And as Kenya gears up for one of the most consequential elections in its history, Governor Joseph Ole Lenku will offer an account of the shaping up Kenyatta succession. And Governor Joseph Ole Lenku of Kajiado County is here with us this evening on Kura 2022. And that is the hashtag on Twitter, and the short SMS code is 21222. Excellency, thank you for making time.
It is a pleasure.
And is appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin with this question. And your tenure is coming to an end in under 4 months' time, yes. And you have expressed interest in seeking fresh mandate, yes, from the people of the county of Kajiado. What stands out for you in the last 5 years that you have accomplished, which you believe will be the springboard for your re-election if given the mandate?
The people of Kajiado in 2017 voted for peace, inclusivity, and unity in the county. I ran on a rallying call of uniting the county. The county at that time was divided, and our part of Maasai land was divided on clan lines. The other non-Maasais were feeling discriminated. There was lack of peace in our major towns of Kitengela, Isinya, Ngong. There was fightings between communities. The county government was seen to be too skewed and discriminative. And so I am happy now going to the next election in a peaceful county, people more united, and people are now talking development because insecurity and lack of inclusivity has been fully addressed. And so I go to the elections a happy man because I asked the people of Kajiado to give me mandate to unite them and to bring cohesion in a county that is largely cosmopolitan, especially at the northern part of the county. So I take peace to the election.
Peace to the election.
Yes.
And you have also underscored on the importance of that when you decamped from the ruling Jubilee Party to the ODM party. But still there exists the very fault lines of clanism in Kajiado County, as are other counties, by large capacity across the 47 devolved units. And many believe that that hasn't been resolved.
I don't think that this was the basis for my going to ODM. I think my going to ODM was because the officials of the party representing the Maa Nation or the county were the men we competed for in the last elections, indirectly and directly. And so they came in to the party to settle scores with the governor. And so when I noted that and found that there was not going to be a fair environment for determining who will fly the party flags, believing in Azimio, I say, I will still be an Azimio candidate now under the ODM umbrella. And so I don't think it's the clan issue that pushed me there or that brought the problem. It is our political differences with the representative of our Maa Nation in Jubilee Party. Okay,
and we'll come to that further because also your chief competitor, the former governor, is also a member of the Jubilee Party, which is under the Azimio umbrella, which brings together more than 20 parties and is spearheaded by the ODM party chief, Raila Odinga. What then in terms of the accomplishments during your tenure stands out in terms of healthcare, in terms of infrastructure, and what you may term as the accomplishment of the pledges you made?
You know, once you address the issue of peace and cohesion, then now the parts of developing the county become a lot easy. Previously, health in Kajiado or people of Kajiado were largely seeking health services from the neighboring counties of Nairobi, Machakos, and Makueni. I am happy that my scorecard on health stood out so well that we have been able to move several health centers, 5 of them specifically, to level 4 facilities in our urban centers of Kajiado, Ngong, Rongai, Kitengela, Loitoktok. And so health comes out, as you are aware that health is the most default function, and so it is important for me to highlight that we now go to this election when a number of our health problems have been addressed. Our referral hospital in Kajiado is truly now a referral hospital with facilities such as the renal unit, blood bank, MRI, CT scans, which were not there before. Now those services are available. Theaters in all the level 4 hospitals are now operational, and so people of Kajiado are now enjoying a lot better hospital facilities. I would also want to bring the issue of infrastructure, where in our urban centers, we now see a lot of roads having been tarmacked, some by the national government, many by the county government with our cooperation with the World Bank, because we were able to upgrade our Ngong, the Kajiado North constituency, into a municipality and some parts of Kajiado West. We also have a municipality now in Kajiado town. And of course, even Kitengela has now joined the ranks so that we have 3 municipalities. Out of that, and us meeting the World Bank requirements, we are now able to enjoy a lot of support from the World Bank in terms of building roads, in terms of building markets, and many other facilities which otherwise the county government may not have been able to do because of the limited resources.
Thank you.
So we can also talk very strongly on infrastructure that has come out very strongly. And you know, you cannot talk about Kajiado without talking land.
I'll come to the land question. When you talk about development and some of the functions that the county government does undertake, and that is general across Mashinani, there is also what stands out, and this is in relation to the funding of the more than 100 million Kenya shillings bridge, which collapsed just days after it was commissioned by the county government. And this seems to be also a dent on your administration.
I am sure that was going to come, because it was highly regrettable that that happened. But actually that happened at a time when the contractor or the liability period was still within under the contractor's arms. And I'm happy that actually in the next 1 month or so, we will now be opening the bridge having been redone. We have sought the support and services of national government in terms of higher level engineers. We agree that our devolution is still a baby, and so there will still be some things that we are aspiring to do as a county, but sometimes lack not only the resources, but even sometimes the know-how. So as we talk about the bridge now, I'm happy to report to the people of Kajiado that no more resources were put into that work, and that the work now is close to 40% complete. And soon we'll go and open that bridge.
Thank you. But when you say it's all about responsibility, because you're the CEO of the county, and you're employee number 1 of county number 34.
That is why I say I express the regrets for the same.
Let me just finish. And this is what you said when the bridge collapsed unceremoniously. I quote you: "This is an act of God, but we will not leave anything to chance. We'll do more reinforcement on this bridge," according to statement read on your behalf by Alex Kilowa, who is the county minister. I mean, it seems a bit preposterous, isn't it? God gave men intellect so that they can develop themselves. He doesn't come and develop for you, is it?
While we accept that accidents exist and sometimes some things are beyond our control, I think my CEC to have said that statement was meant in absolute good faith to say it was not foreseen. But I think the important thing is that people who are interested in having the bridge was going to spur economic activities around that area. And now going forward, instead of us looking back, we look forward. The forward looking in this case is having the bridge redone. And I'm happy to report that it is already being redone and is going to be in operation.
And at the expense of taxpayer?
No, we have not added a cent from what the contract sum was. And so since it was still under the liability period with the contractor, it is the contractor to bear the cost of redoing the bridge.
But when you watch that event we need to move on because of the other topics we need to discuss. When you watch that news from home and from the comfortable couch of your sitting room, was it something that you would appreciate? Would it paint a good picture of the governor, who is the county chief executive officer?
I don't think it is about the governor or the chief executive or anything. It is about an accident that has happened. And of course, it is regrettable. But I say the most important thing is it is being redone.
Okay.
And so we regret that happening, but I assure the people of Kajiado that no more resources will be added into it. The contractor will fully bear the cost of redoing.
Thank you. And we'll talk about also the land issue, which is emotive, the move from the Jubilee Party to ODM, the drought aspect, because the county is semi-arid and more than 3 million Kenyans are largely affected across more than 15 counties. Let's come to the funding aspect. And funds do follow functions, and that's why we have devolution, or the devolved system of governance. And looking at the reports or flipping through the pages of the Auditor General's report, there are concerns as to the flaws in, for example, 2.4 billion Kenya shillings Kajiado County projects. And in many of the instances, the receipts payments are reflected 1.057 billion Kenya shillings, yet the e-system ledger, according to the Auditor General, had reflected 1.06 billion Kenya shillings. Clearly, there are flaws in your management of the county cash.
No, you know, we had these conversations the other day in the Senate. And what came out, there were some misreportings. And the Senate was actually impressed that we were able to produce documents to show that some of the figures picked during the audit period and the actual budgeting process were able to balance. And so I think the issue of flows of funds from the national government to the counties has been an issue of concern. But I think I want to encourage Kenyans that our devolution system is young, but considering that we are only less than 10 years old and the ground we have covered, I think we have covered substantial ground considering what other countries that have won the devolution where the grounds they have covered. Some are 50 years old into that and still are grappling with devolution. I am sure that with the good intentions of those who are running for president, Raila Odinga, whom we support as Mayor candidate, and the Deputy President have shown solid support for devolution. I think the devolution is the way to go, notwithstanding the teething problems that we face, notwithstanding the problems we encounter. The future of this country is in devolution.
Okay, as you also mentioned that when you appeared before the Senate Public Accounts and Investments Committee, and in terms of the administrative action, clearly you were pointed out by the Auditor General, and the Senator Isiolo County Fatma Dulo pointed that your house seems not to have been in order. These issues raised here could have been dealt with even before they got into the report of the Auditor General, and she was referring to the blame that was upon the shoulders of the former finance official you appointed for failing to furnish the auditors with the required documentation. Why?
The audit period is important to indicate that was done during the COVID period. And during that COVID period, officers were operating from home. So while the audit was being carried, it was not possible sometimes to get the real hard documents and hand it over because of the complications brought about by COVID and people working from home in remote areas. And so that causes a bit of delay in conveying the documents. But when we fully opened up and went to the offices and picked the documents, the Senate were fully satisfied that actually the inconvenience were caused by the COVID-19. And so I want to affirm that we had actually no case whatsoever.
Okay, but also there are other pointed issues in regards to the management, and you never provided explanation as to the payments of, for example, 49 million Kenya shillings to the farm managing the on-source revenue collection for the county, which gobbled up about 49 million Kenya shillings.
I don't think so. I think those are the documents that were queried that why were they delayed, and the delay was caused by COVID-19. And so actually we were able to provide all the documentation.
Okay.
Yes.
So not yet a clean bill of health though, and still in terms of the insurance cost,
I am sure you would like to find something that is dramatic, but it's not the case.
Okay, but Governor, it's about accountability because you're managing resources.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you are representing the people of Kajiado, and the resources we devolved from the national level was to ensure that we embolden and build the capacity of the people down there. And for example, the AG also pointed out under expenditure, the county did not provide records for series provided on payments of 34.4 million Kenya shillings on insurance costs, for example.
I think the figure, if I remember, the figure that we had for the insurance was 50 million, not actually 34. And the concern was whether there existed a contract between the county government and NHIF.
Okay.
And actually, the contract existed. And the officers indicated when the audit were asking, they were home, they were operating from home because of COVID-19. So we produced the contract that exists between ourselves and NHIF, and the Senate was fully satisfied.
Okay. You have clarified on all that, and I want us to also now talk about the land issue, which is very emotive, and in Kajiado County, to be very specific. And you talk about this issue, and especially during the election period, we are 4 months away, and you said your campaign was pinned largely on peace and tranquility for the different ethnic communities to live together in county number 34, Kajiado County. How have you addressed the land problem, which has been perpetual in county?
I was actually going to say that another point for me in running for the election was land and education, but because of time, I think we moved too fast. But let's come to land. As we are all aware, land is a factor of production, and land is a very emotive issue. And if not handled carefully, land can actually cause conflict between communities. I am happy that it is during my tenure that the land processes were fully automated. The land special planning came out, and people were asked to follow the plan. And the validation of ownership documents across all our towns were done. Because previously we had a messy land registry, cartels running the show, multiple ownership of single land by many individuals, which we cleaned up through the validation of ownership of documents. And so now we go to the elections when the people of Kajiado are happy about our management of land. Having said that land is a factor of production, land in Kajiado is emotive in several ways. One, there are many investors who came and bought land there and developed factories, built homes, and made this their home. There are also pastoralists who are seeking space for grazing and all that. We also have wildlife that are seeking corridors for their movement. It is in the spatial planning that we designated to say this land is designated for industries, this land is for human settlement, this land is for wildlife and all that. So I am happy now that there is harmony, that even those investors who are there know the purpose of the land they own and are using it. And you have not heard again in the last 3 or so years about land conflicts in Kajiado. So this is something that I will proudly take it to the people of Kajiado and ask, on the basis of the foundation we have set on management of land, give us the mandate to consolidate that. And so now land is no longer a fighting issue. Land is being properly used according to the spatial planning, and we are moving forward as a united county.
Thank you. When we get back from the break, Governor, we talk about the on-source revenue, which is very important to embolden the county economies from the top, because that has been the very idea of the devolved system of governance, as the exchequer pumps billions into the counties. Also address the deputy governor's position, the amendment that sought to strengthen the office, because we see a sort of standoff between governors and their deputies in many instances, but not in Kajiado County so far, as we know.
Kajiado is a model for benchmarking.
Okay, thank you. And also we'll talk about national politics and going forward, what is the governor's opinion in regards to the contest for the August 9th presidential elections in the country. You're watching Kura 2022, and we are with the Kajiado County Governor Joseph Lenku in the studio. The hashtag on Twitter is Kura 2022, and we are back with more after the break. Stay tuned.